Greetings folks and welcome to another 8/16/32-bit. I'm your host Rob, and today, as you can probably already have guessed, we're looking at the video game Casper the Friendly Ghost for the 3DO. Now, Casper came out for the 3DO in, I believe it was 1995, and it was a license from the quite popular family movie released at the same time featuring Christina Ricci. The game was also released on a number of other platforms such as the PlayStation and Saturn. There were licensed Casper games as well, I think for the SNES and a couple of other formats, but they were different to this. But in my humble opinion, Casper is one of the better games for the 3DO, and we're going to take a look now and I'll tell you why I think this is the case. So, here we have Casper on the 3DO. Now, something to point out here, this is one of those rare 3DO games that actually has a regional lockout. If you try to run it on the version I've got here on a PAL system, you get a notification saying this game will only work on NTSC. Now, you can see it was licensed by MCA Universal, and the film was produced by Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment. And when you watch it, it's very much got that Spielberg film. Harvey Entertainment are the franchise holders for Casper, and Interplay produced and released the game. It was programmed by Funcom, not always the best name to see on a game, I have to admit, but here they did a pretty decent job. Now, as is pretty standard for CD-ROM based games of the time, the game will start with an FMV intro because it's CD-ROM, and FMV was where it's at. So this is a pre-rendered CD-ROM styly 3D intro video, with a nice little bit of hand-drawn art there just to show you the title briefly, and then we're through to the nicely done menu screen. Got some nice little transparency effects there on the polygons, and you've got your various options. Again, nice bit of hand-done art in the background there. Obviously we're going to play the game. You've got 4 save slots available to you, and you will need to save. It is quite a substantial game, to be fair to it, and you get a little bit of story, but we'll skip through most of this with its kind of recognisable-ish hand-drawn over the top of stills illustrations. Now, the film does go into this weird thing where Casper's obsessed with Christina Ricci's character. It's like a ghost wanting a human girlfriend. Bit weird, but And then we are into the game itself, which, as you can see, is a sort of top-down arcade adventure. You have to explore Whipstaff Mansion and find various bits and pieces to finish some relatively simple puzzles, such as putting together jigsaws so you can open chests and doors. It's quite a nice game. I think it looks really good. It's certainly not pushing the 3DO to its limits in any way, shape or form, but Casper there's transparent. The graphics have a lovely hand-drawn, illustrated quality to them, and it's a really nice looking little game. It plays like smooth. Whilst I admit it is not anything spectacular looking, it is better than anything that could have been done on Super Nintendo or the Mega Drive or the PC Engine at the time. Even PCs on computers such as the Amiga 1200, they would have struggled to create a game that looks this attractive. And on the 3DO, it looks really nice. It is an attractive game. Now, obviously, you're working your way around the mansion here. It's quite a big map, and doorways and such are not always obvious as to what you need to do. But bit of trial and error never hurt anyone. Now, here's the first of your jigsaws that you have to collect. And again, this is the kind of level of puzzle solving that there is in this game. It's quite simple because obviously the film was aimed at a younger audience, so the game isn't massively complicated. but it is enjoyable, and that's the key. And that's why I think this is one of the best games on the 3DO. The looks, the sounds, the way it plays, it's comfortably one of the best put together games on the 3DO, and it just makes for an enjoyable experience whether you're 5 or 50. It's fun. Obviously Casper's not so pleasant uncles are here, and you do spend a lot of time avoiding them rather than getting into combat, which kind of makes sense. Now, there is one thing that I couldn't remember to do here, and it took me a little bit of time to figure out, but you can adjust Casper's height in the rooms as well, so you can get onto the tables. And it took me a couple of minutes to figure out the controls, but there you go, you can see I've got it there. So it's just, it's a bit of trial and error, but it is fun. Now, as I said, it is available on the Saturn and the PlayStation as well. I will say on both of those it's nowhere near as impressive compared to what else there is on the system, but on the 3DO it does have very few peers in terms of its quality, and this is coming in from myself who loves the 3DO, but is quite happy to admit there are a lot of 3DO games which are not exactly going to set the world on fire when it comes to the gameplay. So anyway, that's Casper the Friendly Ghost for the 3DO. Now, I won't say rush out and buy this game because it can be quite pricey to get hold of, but it's easy enough to try an emulation. There are certainly a number of websites out there, hint hint, nudge nudge, where you can take on an accent where you kind of go, "Arr, Jim lad," and you can play this through like I am on the Project Phoenix emulator. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you all again soon on the next episode of 81632-bit. So this is Rob saying so long for now.